The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations says while border closures, quarantines, and market supply chain and trade disruptions could restrict access to sufficient nutritious sources of food, there is no need for the world to panic. It adds, globally there is enough food for everyone. Just warning that policymakers will just need to be careful not to repeat the mistakes during the 2007-2008 food crisis and turn this health crisis into an entirely avoidable food crisis. Joining us now to talk agriculture, infrastructure, and a little bit of digital banking, Tony Chu, president of listed company AgriNurture. Hi, Tony. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Mimi.
So, your main revenue stream is export trading of fresh produce like mango, banana, and pineapple to other countries like China, Hong Kong, the Middle East, US, and Europe. How has trade been affected by the pandemic?
So far, the problem is more on the logistic delays. Like China's lockdown started Chinese New Year. So the first few weeks of February was really hard because people don't report to work in China, and the truckers cannot move from one province to the other. So that caused a lot of backlogs in terms of shipment. However, as things go on, the thing we export is actually basic necessity. So demand actually increases in late March. So we were able to play a lot of catch up and capture this growth potential for demand of basic needs.
And just very curious, essentially the lockdowns, at least here in the Philippines, would be the March to May period. Would you consider these critical harvest periods or months for the Philippine produce that you export?
I'm not worried about export because majority of our fruit export is sourced from Mindanao. So our lockdown is Luzon lockdown. So Mindanao is generally okay. Luzon lockdown, from day one, I think the IITF made it clear that movement of agri-product, and later on they converted into movement of cargo, should be unhampered. But those first few weeks of our lockdown, there are still there are really a lot of LGUs that does not understand the instructions. So there's a lot of difficulties for movement of goods that cause a lot of unnecessary delays and unnecessary costs and wastage in terms of bringing the produce of the farmers to the consumers.
But 4 months into the lockdown, Tony, would you say that you're back to your normal operating pace? 100% capacity, you're not having problems with ports or the terminals where you have to pass through, where these goods will have to pass through?
Our challenges right now is the demand for our product. For export, our sales is actually expecting triple-digit growth. The domestic sales in Manila for the supermarkets is actually more than triple. The issues is congestion in port is causing delay of bringing things in and out. The shortage of manpower, the delays in processing of remittances within the banking system because the backroom of the banks are not working in full capacity, and a lot of support sector they are hampered. So we're working during this ECQ. Actually, the entire company, the entire team is working even harder because everyone has to carry a lot of jobs that are left by people who cannot report to work.
Tony, you don't just export. I know that you also are importing and trading rice since 2015. How's that coming along? There are concerns that the big sources like Vietnam and Thailand are going to tighten and will sell less rice to countries like the Philippines because they're going to have to prioritize their own food security issues. I mean, what's the outlook now, and where else do you plan to import rice from? Do you think this is the tipping point that's going to push everyone to just accept we have to be rice self-sufficient?
Well, allow me to clarify. The objective of AgriNurture, or myself, the vision is to build the capacity of Filipino farmers. We want to let the Filipino farmers be more productive, earn more money, but we have to understand that the per capita consumption of Filipino is more than 120 kilos per capita. And that means we need about more than 14 million metric tons of rice a year, whereas we only produce less than 8. So the importation is a necessary stopgap measure to create that buffer inventory to achieve temporary equilibrium. However, this crisis will prove our point that we have to have the vision to achieve food security ourselves. So that means to say, when Vietnam and Thailand will prefer to, Vietnam actually stopped issuing import permit, and lately they allowed temporary resumption of export, but with a cap. And Thailand still allow export, but price has already gone up. So there are very little supply available in the international market, and if there is, the price will be too expensive. So we have to rely on ourselves. How do we rely on ourselves? Increasing productivity is one, but the easiest one is to reduce per capita consumption, because the per capita consumption, a lot of it is actually wastage. So unnecessary wastage from farm to market part, and the consumption part of Filipino, you and me, perhaps everybody should start to consider cutting down a little bit on rice consumption to make ourselves healthier and help our country achieve this equilibrium faster.
Okay, so less rice for all of us. Tony, just very quickly from the local perspective, I know that you've been helping connect the farmers to buyers during this lockdown, facilitating the sale and transport of the harvests. It seems that digital and technology plus this pandemic has sort of removed the middlemen. Today, we're buying directly from the manufacturers or the farmer groups. Do you think the removal of the middlemen, that this is the new normal moving forward?
This is an accidental benefit, and actually I'm very excited and happy to see a lot of these online retailers of agri-produce popping up. A lot of them have the social responsibility aspect. So this is really a crisis during an opportunity during crisis. So ourselves, we also launch our Ani Express Hub, which focus on not only the local consumers but institutional buyers and export. The objective is to eliminate middlemen, so the farmers will get a bigger slice of the pie, and consumers can buy direct, which should be cheaper. And during this elimination process, we make the logistic faster, so there's lesser transfer, lesser wastage, and cheaper for the consumers to consume.
And speaking of logistics, before we let you go, let's talk about infrastructure. Under another unit,